So let's talk about the future of the DCEU. Zack Snyder's Justice League is getting so much praise from everybody. All of the people who I watch on YouTube are enjoying it, even some channels that I haven't seen in a very long time. Even Red Letter Media, who's hypercritical of a lot of these Hollywood films, even they were praising Zack Snyder's Justice League. So obviously, with everyone giving it so much love and saying how much better it is than theatrical, you would think Warner Brothers, Warner Media would go to Snyder and say, hey, can you do more of this? Can you give us that sequel? Can you help us produce or help us steer the ship? Can you direct more movies? No. Today it was revealed from Warner Media they're not going to be pursuing anything else with Zack Snyder in the near future when it comes to the DCEU. They put together the Justice League Snyder Cut because the fans wanted it, but they issued a press release today saying they're not going to continue with Zack Snyder's vision, and that the Justice League movie was like the end of his trilogy. Man of Steel, BVS, Justice League. However, the problem with that is it wasn't originally conceived to be a trilogy. Snyder wanted 4 or 5 films, depending on what time we're talking about, because he changed his mind. And the Justice League story was supposed to continue into 2 more movies. And he even said on Grace Randolph's YouTube channel that he was talking about maybe for future Man of Steel movies as well. But now they're saying, no, we're putting the kibosh on it. Justice League is done for now when it comes to Snyder. And to me, that's a grave error. This is a critical mistake that Warner Brothers is making. This is a huge, huge error right here. Because even if, well, first of all, the reason why they're saying this seems to be, now I could be wrong, that perhaps the early HBO Max numbers for the Snyder Cut were not high enough to justify spending all the money they spent on it. I don't know. We don't have numbers yet as of the recording of this video. We may get numbers later, but you have to understand that when it comes to HBO Max, Disney Plus, Netflix, it's all about money. When it comes to corporations, it's all about money, not about art. When it comes to directors, filmmakers, for them it's more about art and money because they're not going to work for free. But Zack Snyder is a very artistic filmmaker. He likes to break the rules. He likes doing 3.5, 4-hour movies that really shouldn't be shown in theaters often, but he still does it, right? Because that's the kind of art he likes to put together. And that's fine. Every director's different. Tarantino does similar stuff. Christopher Nolan's always doing, I have to have it in 70mm IMAX. I have to shoot with these cameras, this and that. These guys love the art of filmmaking. They love the art of filmmaking. And the studios give them a platform, but oftentimes the studio chooses to make decisions more so on money, actually not often, almost every time, than on creativity. And even though the Snyder Cut left a lot of people hungry for more, including me, because I love what they were building up to. And I might do a whole video on like Snyder's plans, because I do like his plans for the next 2 Justice League movies that he was gonna produce at some point. Now that you can actually see the exhibit in Dallas, Texas, that Jim Lee drew the storyboards for his sequel movies, Justice League 2 and 3. But there's a few things I don't like about those stories. Obviously, there's some things about his ideas that I genuinely don't want to see. It's a little too weird for me. But for the most part, I do want to see something. I do want to see some of it, most of it, in fact. The problem is that if you're not going to have Snyder do the, or not do, but be in charge of, or be the creative sort of a throughput of the DCEU, who's it going to be? Disney has Kevin Feige. He's doing the Marvel shows and Marvel movies. He's done a tremendous job since all the way back in 2008, and he has built the MCU into being the biggest film franchise going right now. The biggest right now is the MCU. We have numbers to prove that. Nothing will ever top on the MCU when it comes to overall franchise success. But obviously, Warner Brothers has Batman, Superman, these iconic heroes. And what they don't have is a creative vision for the future. They don't have a guy who has an idea. Zack Snyder, like him or not, agree with him or not, has an idea. He has a direction. He has ideas. He works with Patty Jenkins. He works with James Wan. Like him or not, I did not like BVS. I loved his Justice League movie, the 4-hour version. the real version. I like that movie a lot. The more I think about it, the more I like it, and the more that I want to see more. And Warner Brothers is making a critical error here because I feel like at the very least, they should give Snyder the chance to make one more movie. I'm not saying he needs to make 10 more, but if he gets to make at least one more Justice League film, maybe even a 4-hour one again, where he tells the end of his story, the end of what's going to happen in the dark world or the injustice angle, whatever he wants to do, because he may change his mind about all this. He needs to do one more, and people are talking about the SnyderVerse, but the problem is that Warner Bros. Is not going to do it. And that's, again, they're making a huge error. They made the same mistake in 2017. Yes, BVS was bad. I understand corporately why they did it. However, this needs to be a change. Because, dude, if they put out a good Justice League film in theaters with the hype behind this one, we'll see. But it all comes down to how did this perform on HBO Max, because I'm worried, and if you're a Snyder fan and if you're a fan of these films, I am worried that it did not do as well as they wanted, and they said, okay, no more. We paid this guy $70 million to finish the movie. It's out there, that's it. But to me, there's so many unresolved plot threads in that film. There's so many things they were building up to that now we may never see, and to me that's just absolutely disgusting. Warner Bros. Has been jerking the fans around when it comes to DC for years, changing their minds on things, doing this, doing that. It's gone too far. And no, I don't agree with a lot of the Snyder fans being rude and mean to people. We've seen it on social media. The Snyder Cut is extremely, like, not all of them, of course not, but there's always that subsection of the fandom that's got to be the troublemakers that ruin it for everybody else. Yes, they exist, but I don't know if they actually factored into this, but now is the time for them to not be rude, but to at least make their voice heard and say, we want the SnyderVerse. But is it going to match up for numbers? How many of those Snyder fans are there? 10,000, 20,000, 100,000, a million? I don't know. Who knows? HBO Max numbers is all they have to go by. So, to me, I don't know. I really hope that he gets to finish this story because I was so hyped after seeing Justice League and what he did with it. And I've been talking about Justice League a lot lately, haven't I? Because the movie put a smile on my face. Actually, after watching it for a third time, because I saw it 3 times. That's 12 hours of my life gone, Zack Snyder. You're welcome. I saw it 3 times, and I'm like, dude, no, I don't agree with everything Snyder does, but the guy had direction. He built up the characters well. It is now my favorite movie of the DCEU. Not my favorite DC movie, because I love Dark Knight and, Batman 89. Those are like, obviously Superman 2, Richard Donner version. I love those films. But as far as the DCEU, the modern interconnected movies, this is my favorite one. It topped on Wonder Woman, which is at number 2. I love Shazam. I love Aquaman. I actually watched it the other day and I liked it again. But Justice League Snyder Cut is, to me, my favorite DC. I'm not saying it's the best one, but it's my favorite DCEU movie. And I didn't think I would ever say that. I really didn't. I didn't know it was going to be that good. I swear to you. You know I don't bullshit y'all on here. So I think this is a critical mistake if they don't capitalize on this. I'm not saying he has to direct another film, but have him be the creative lead. Have him be a producer, at least, or executive producer, or even a co-writer. And have them continue the SnyderVerse. Even if he's not the director, maybe he can help out if he doesn't want to do it. But to me, this is going to be a problem. We'll see what happens, yo. They might change their mind on this in 2 weeks. We will see. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. We'll talk soon.